This is the Chromebook Tab from Acer. Hi there folks, and here we have something new and something different. This is the Acer Chromebook Tab 10. It's one of the most exciting products that we've seen in quite some time since they took Android and started trying to stick it onto larger screen devices and make tablets out of it whenever there wasn't an official version of a tablet OS for a tablet. Now Acer have tried to do the same thing with ChromeOS by putting it onto a tablet, and purely for educational purposes, I think that we're going to see something particularly special here. This is a device that's not designed to take on the iPad, but it's much more targeted at schools and education. So what we should be seeing here is a functional tablet that probably won't be wildly powerful with games and things like that. More of an experiment to cut down the cost of producing a Chromebook for schools and educational purposes. And to be honest, it just looks like an exciting, fun little idea. Does Chrome work on a tablet? So in the box, it's a very simple blue box with the information pumped on it. We'll go through the specs as we take her out. This has been looked at before. I don't think there's too many of them knocking about, but there's a good few videos popping up online regarding it, and they're all comparing it to the iPad, and I'm going to do my very best not to do that. There we have the iPad-like thing on the top. Sorry, there we have the tablet on the top there. We have a power adapter here, which is a pretty hefty one. It doesn't just use a micro USB cable because it's not so much a tablet, it is more of a computer. And then a UK plug-in there as well. And setting up your Chromebook Tab. Oh yes, it has a stylus as well. Very nice. Quick start guide and a little manual as well. Okay, so here it is. It's not particularly heavy, straight off the bat. And it's a big tablet. It's got a nice big 9.7-inch screen, which is 1536 by 2048 pixels. It's all encased in plastic. There's a bit of a bezel down here and a bit of the bezel on the sides there, which is, I think, fine for thumb usage. The tablet I have currently, the bezels are minute, and I keep just tapping it ever so gently with my thumb, and can activate a side menu that slides in. Over on the bottom we have some CE stuff, FCC kind of caper on there. There looks to be some holes there for a speaker and a USB Type-C connector here. Along this side, again, there is nothing. There's just some wireless info and serial numbers. Here we have a 3.5mm headphone jack. That looks to be a little bit broken. Don't know if you can make that out. There we go. Seems to be cracked just a little. There's a microphone hole here and some speakers there. Then we have a power button, a volume rocker, and a micro SD card insert hole. And this must be where they keep the stylus. Very snazzy. Not that I'm going to mention the fact that the iPad doesn't have that functionality, but the Samsung Chromebook Plus and Chromebook Pro do have the Samsung or the stylus built into it. So it's nice to have that there. It's a very simple thing to do. But obviously it adds a bit more bulk, a bit more width and things like that to the tablet. Then on the back, very simple affair here. Just a nice grippy back plastic texture. And under here we have the 4500 milliamp hour battery. There's 4 GB of RAM inside here, and there's this 5 megapixel camera here, which I'm sure, given that ChromeOS's camera app is pretty atrocious, I'm sure this is not going to look great unless Acer have put on their own camera app, which I wouldn't put it past them. Acer are pretty handy whenever it comes to that sort of thing. Inside is the Rockchip RX3399, which is a hexa-core Cortex processor. You got 4 Cortex A53s and 2 Cortex A72s. There's 32 gigabytes of onboard storage, and we're going to turn it on, see if there's any power in it. Well, we have Chrome, and this should boot in like 10 seconds. I've left handprints all over it. We already have one person, so I'm going to go through the whole motion and add myself to it. So I'm quite keen to see what you can do and what you can't do. Obviously, having some kind of stand and then pairing this with a Bluetooth keyboard of some description and a mouse would make this an ideal travel companion. And there we are, we're in. And everything's now going to notify me that I've logged into somewhere else. Chromebook sync and personalized services. Okay, so sorted. Google Play Apps is on here as well, which makes this infinitely more attractive. These are Stylus tools. Okay. Okay, so it's now trying to download and synchronize all the apps and bits and pieces that I have connected to Chrome on my desktop and on my Chromebook. Okay, so hopefully we won't get disturbed too much now. We hit take the tour, get to your apps fast, check your Chromebook status, explore your Chromebook. There we go, with Hangouts is popping up. And the obligatory load of stuff about Chrome and how to use Chrome and things. So okay, so Google Play Store is on here. We have a bunch of stuff that it's trying to install as well. Applications that I use on my Android devices, so this could fill up really quite quick. There's only 32 gigabytes on here. And it'll be interesting to see just how many applications are actually available to run on this, because it's again a different environment for the application to work in. It's designed for an Android phone, sometimes has compatibility issues with an Android tablet, then it has more compatibility issues with a Chromebook, so there's going to be even more compatibility issues again with a Chromebook tablet. But most importantly, we'll fire on Netflix and see if it works. And we'll try Asphalt. That might be a decent thing to look at. And because we can, I'm going to whack on Antutu and see if it works. And Geekbench. Okay, so we have most of our apps that are already installed, and we know they're compatible with a Chromebook because they work on Chromebooks. So clicking on the stylus, we have capture region, capture screen, create a note, and laser pointer, and then magnifying glass as well. So if we're going to go with the magnifying glass and see how well that kind of works. Aha, it is. It's just like a magnifying glass. That could be useful for those with macular degeneration and sight problems. Very handy little tool, that. And then a laser pointer. Just having a look at the stylus, and I don't see there's any buttons or anything. It's not kind of a smart stylus like Samsung do. It is just a nibbed pen. There's nothing really there at all. So laser pointer is trails, really. Creating a note brings probably up Google Keep. Hopefully you can set that to a note-taking application of your desire. Yeah, it is Google Keep. I wonder if Google will get fined for doing that as well. So capturing the screen takes a screenshot, and then you can doodle on the image, I'm guessing. You can indeed. Well, to be honest, it's doing quite a lot. It's installing a few things. It's installing Android apps. It's installing widgets and extensions onto Chrome, and it all seems to be working. It's not presenting any lag whilst I'm playing around with some of the other features. It seems to be really quite responsive. So we're going to benchmark her and see how well she does there. Oh, it's going to require to download the extra stuff, isn't it? Yeah. Does that work okay? It does. And the screen itself is actually, it's quite bright. There's no limited viewing angles. It's an IPS LCD capacitive touchscreen display capable of 16 million colors, 9.7 inches in size, and has multi-touch of up to 10 fingers. And it looks pretty good. The colors are very nice. There's no noticeable pixels. And going in close, I wouldn't say that there is any notable ones at all. It's really quite a nice screen. The speakers are quite loud. That's at full volume. And they are stereo speakers. I was noticing a couple of dropped frames there as that little animation was. And whilst it's a thick tablet, and I suppose it's a lot thicker than you would expect from maybe an iPad or something like that, or a Samsung Galaxy Tab, but it's not bad. It's a decent size for holding. And I imagine that whenever they come to release this for, if they were to release this for the market, then we might have a really, really nice device, because obviously being designed for education purposes, looks are not really taken into account, and it's more functionality over anything else. We seem to have lost Antutu there, which is a bit of a problem. Maybe it crapped out on us. Well, I'll maybe give that a go at a later date and see if we can get it to run okay, because it is still doing an awful lot of stuff in the background, and I feel a bit sorry for the tablet being put through those paces whilst under pressure. So it's an interesting system. It really is. Chrome is not designed terribly for tablets, although it's becoming very finger friendly because of touchscreen Chromebooks becoming almost standard. So why not make a tablet out of it? That way the keyboard and mouse are optional extras. And Acer have really braved things here by putting this together. And to be honest, I'm really quite impressed by it. This is the next evolution of the Android tablet. Okay, while that's downloading, we're going to have a quick look at the camera. Hi. Okay, and we fire around to the other camera as well, which looks very blue. It looks very blue on the screen, but it's not too bad looking through the viewfinder of the camera, so you might not be seeing how blue that is. Honestly, I've seen worse cameras. We'll try that with there's a Commodore Amiga there. Okay, so the camera is functional. It'll certainly take a picture of a business card or any of those sorts of things that you might need to photograph. Okay, what have I been watching recently? I've been watching Lost in Space. Let's see how well that looks on here. We'll skip into the episode a bit to get some colour going. Looks alright. Thanks, Hangouts. How wonderful it is to see. Okay, so that looks quite well. Obviously there's 32 gigabytes and you can stick in an SD card so you can download stuff to it on the go as well, which is pretty awesome, if you ask me. And what we'll do is we'll leave it charging with that downloading in the background, and we'll come back. Okay, we stuck that on charge for a bit there to aid with the download. Okay, so we'll stick in our age. I would be a whopping 39 now, and I am a male. Okay, well, everything. Ooh, we can feel a bit of heat down here. That must be where the processor is. I thought there was something up here earlier on, but it must be where I was holding it. And obviously the speaker here, but we can. No, we can't flip it, throw it around quite so easily. We have an accelerometer inside, so we can do a bit of gaming. Yes, I know. Okay, can I? So it seems fairly smooth. It's annoying about all the interruptions from the tutorial there, and it does it. Flips around on a dime. It's very quick to do. Rendering web pages still seem to be quite quick. Things appear, it scrolls quite quickly. We've recently changed Tech Addict's website so it looks a wee bit nicer and works better on mobile platforms better. Go check it out. So that's it in a nutshell. I'm going to go and spend some time with this. I'm going to try and use it on a daily basis. It's going to be my traveling buddy. To see how well we do, I'll stick a SD card in there, get some media going. We have Bluetooth and all that on here, don't we? So we do have Bluetooth enabled casting, Wi-Fi, all that kind of stuff. Here, ready to go. What version of Chrome is on here? Settings. About ChromeOS, we're using version 67.0.3396. And it's up to date. Yeah, I'm quite impressed with this as a concept for the whole idea of not rotating, of being an Android tablet that's actually a Chrome tablet. It's both. It looks and feels pretty good, and it's a great start. Obviously it's not perfect. It would be nice to have a nice aluminium finish and all that kind of thing, which Acer seems to be putting more and more into its actual desktop or laptop Chromebooks, which is what you're gonna have a problem here, because this is called a Chromebook, but it's technically not a Chromebook because it doesn't close like a book. Why it's quite called a Chromebook is beyond me. Maybe Google's insisting that Chromebook become a brand that they want to follow. Perhaps Acer are looking to put out a bunch of peripherals for this, clip-on keyboards and things like that, but I don't see any little connectors or anything like that, or pogo plugs or anything for that sort of thing. But they're testing the waters with this, putting it out for educational uses, and I think it's quite a success at the moment. Obviously, over the next couple of weeks of using it, I'll be able to tell you whether or not it is a success. So check back on techaddicts.uk in the next couple of weeks for a full review. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments box below, and I'll be sure to include them if they're there in time. Hit that subscribe button, give us a wee thumbs up if you fancy, and other than that, take care.